You said I'm starting now, bro. I'm like
Okay,
a
go.
dog. You take the leash off, I run.
Yeah, go.
Okay, new time. Many reasons for that. Half the show will go in that, but it's also an experiment because we are in this podcast. It's all about experimenting. That's the only way we can give it some sort of credibility. Otherwise, there's no point. So this is an experiment in the evening, and we may take this forward. Not all the time. We're still looking at all the different combinations and permutations because our research team of 800 people is cracking open the formula that will make this podcast into the perennial podcast forever and ever, which will run even after our deaths. As my dog barks, it's time for me to rant a little bit. I spent 6 days in Alibag. For those who don't know, Alibag is just a generic name where some rich people live. The poor people like me, we live in little caves, not connected to Osama or anybody like that. We live in little caves on the bylanes outside and beyond what is the beautiful silver like Alibag. So let's just get that clear. There was no electricity because of this cyclone. There was lots of people went berserk, and the entire countryside was upturned. There was not a tree standing. Everything looked like my good friend Neeraj Kochar from college, whose hair was always like a tree that was upturned, was that much. And that's all we saw. I mean, I'm making fun of a terrible thing and I apologize, but it was what it was and very painful. But in all that, I have to tell you, I had no electricity for 3 days and I had no access to Wi-Fi. And when I told my wife how bad I felt about missing shows and all these things that are happening, she said, stop behaving like an elitist pig. Okay, at least you're alive, your family is healthy, your house is okay, and you can always do another show another day. I wanted a divorce. I couldn't believe I was what? I'm not Mother Teresa. I can't feel the pain of everybody else around me. I don't have that kind of empathy. I only want to know what's happening to my show. It's called Cyrus Says. There's no Cyrus. The thing of getting a new sponsor and calling it just Says. McDonald's presents Says, and whoever turns up does it. Because the moron who's doing the show is in a village with no electricity, no Wi-Fi. And let me tell you, Mr. Mhatre, I don't want to take his name, but what's the first name, Maya? It'll come back to me. Mr. Mhatre never took the call. And this is an Indian habit. This is only us Indians who do that. When there's trouble, we have to hide. So we don't have any answers. It's like we just become the ostrich, put your head inside. When the predator comes, put your head inside the mud and just hide and hope the predator won't see an ostrich whose head is inside and, will just ignore you. So he doesn't have any answers, doesn't return calls, doesn't. I'm sure he was 10,000 people were calling him and bothering him. But hello, under pressure, you have to react because we're all looking at you to help. All of us, the whole world comes to a standstill. So I was in a lot of pain. This has been horrible. It's almost as bad as the first 3 years of my marriage. And 3 days without electricity for a sweat bean like me. You can imagine. Don't cry, Maya. Don't cry. Daddy will work hard so we can have a better generator than one that conks every 15 minutes. But that's 4 hours. Maya, Maya, rich people keep it on for 20 hours and keep it off for 4 hours. We only could afford 4 hours because your mother, with her kachi blood, decides 100% that we can only spend so much money even if we have more. So what am I supposed to do? World sucks. World is really bad. This is Kali Yuga, I'm telling you. All right, let's start the show, Cock and Bull. Our evening experiment. See you at 6. Amit and
Yes.
Silvery with lots of interesting stories. But first, I want to apologize to
Hello.
anyone who listened to our show on Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday morning and found that we were missing. It was completely my fault. The Cyclones, who's named after a reptile, only in India, named after a reptile. They have Katrina, we have Taukte.
So it's a reptile. That's what it was
It's
named
a
after.
bloody lizard. It's a lizard.
Oh
We name
wow.
our hurricanes and all things after lizards and reptiles, and they go for Katrina, and Dolly, and names that you'll never forget.
I
My
did
I
not
read
know
a
that.
comment.
what?
I read a comment earlier, which was the only thing that can make Cyrus not talk is Cyclone Tokte because it was gone for like
Well,
3 days.
in
Very
Alibag,
funny.
whatever
Whatever
the
that was.
part of Alibag we're in, which is not Alibag, there was lots of these Toktes hanging around. Okay, because all the
Okay.
reptiles came out. My daughter was petrified because one thing she's scared of are frogs, and her grandfather's pet name is Froggy. What an irony there! But they listen. They're small guys, but they jump really far. And when
Like
they
a
jump,
frog?
they make it up, their smallness in that jump. And I tell you, your heart's, it's for whatever. It's not a
Fro-
predator and all that, but leaping frog is not easy.
No, frogs are weird animals, but I mean, like, I'm surprised Maya is like not comfortable with them generally.
It's the only animal she's a little scared of.
Yeah, that's
Otherwise,
no, I mean, like,
not even
yeah,
snakes or
exactly.
anything. Yeah. Okay, can I tell you one more story from this
Yes.
3 day audience? So you didn't feel my pain and people listening say, bro, I'm glad you didn't do the show Monday Tuesday Wednesday because you're not mentally well to do it. I had a frog in the pot.
That's happened to
Okay.
me
It happened to you on Monday morning.
in
This is the
Goa.
only, listen to me,
Yeah.
there's no electricity. The only pleasure I have is the bathroom. So I sit on the pot in the morning and I hear a little sound.
Inside the pot.
Inside the
Yeah,
pot,
yeah, inside.
under the bowels of my destiny, was this green fellow with
Who
his mouth
likes to
open.
jump.
He stayed there. He was like, I'm ready for brekka. Bro, the third bathroom, the flush isn't working. So that means me and Maya have to now share one bathroom, and no 14-year-old girl wants to share a bathroom with her dad if she can help it.
Of
I
course.
was not sitting on that pot again. It'll be years. Chokte's son will come and go, wipe out half of India, but I will not sit on that pot. Because where do they come from? How do they get in? They get in from
Yeah.
some pipe. So there's Mali is explaining to me, I mean, these guys should be hired by the BMC to help us with our pipes and our, underbelly of Mumbai, which is going nowhere, and all the stuff that goes out of control during monsoons. How do they manage? But bro, it was like staring at a lion back in the Masai Mara area where we went years back live. You'll never understand. It's a frog. He can't. How can you be scared of a frog? You're 90 kilos.
How big was the frog? How big was it?
Bigger than my frog. It was big. bro, and the mouth was open. The mouth was open. I'm telling you, he was like, "Feed me, mommy." I was like, "No." I
You're-
couldn't. By the way, I
are-
didn't crap. I froze. You know what what they say in novels? You read it sometimes. Your shit freezes.
Your
Literally.
clenches.
Yeah. So imagine your morning bowel movement went back in and said, "Good night." Okay, we'll come out to your heart and you'll die, but we're not. I haven't sat.
I
It was
don't know
Monday.
if we should delve too deeply into the mechanics of this, but you had
Yeah.
sat down. You heard.
Yeah.
And then after that, you stood up.
I look. It's my sixth sense that saves me a lot of times, except when I was drunk. I felt something was there, and I mean, look, it's really still. It's not like Mumbai. There's no sound except when that storm had started, kind of thing.
Right.
But so you can pick up everything. And I heard this little movement. It was only maybe the claws or whatever. They don't even have claws, webs, whatever
Right.
they are. It was just that
Yeah.
sound. By the way, they have a horrible voice, huh? They sound like Kunal Vijayekar, whose birthday it is today. Something like that. And
Yeah.
but Amit, it's a horror. I look down. Imagine looking between your legs. The only thing worse than that is
Yeah.
if it's not there. Okay, when you look between your legs, I can't think of it's
Yeah.
top two worst things. You lost your penis, the frogs inside between your ass.
Did you-
It's-
Did you at some point think, hell, what did I just take out of my out of my stomach?
But I also thought he might go. He might go for the goulash. He might go for the junior. He might.
Yep,
I mean,
yep,
for
yep.
him it's like buffet. I paid my way. I know it's an expensive restaurant. I can go. It was an unequal fight. He won. I accepted defeat. I shut the lid, by the way. Okay, and then after 2 minutes, opened it with trepidation like that, and I look inside, and he's not there. Wait. So I feel a little better. I shut it. I open it again. He's there. He started playing games with me.
So what was he doing? Did he stick on, was he like frog was sticking onto the lid of the
I mean, I
toilet?
didn't have the
Yes,
guts to go in with it with my face. I was scared to come closer and closer. So I found a stick and I was holding a stick. If you saw me, you'd say, "What a sissy!" And I was opening the lid with the stick, and then I looked like that. And so once he wasn't there, next time he was there. It was like he was playing tricks, with my mind. I was traumatized, bro. This has been 3 days of between the cyclone and the BST and the Wi-Fi and the frog. And
What do you think of rural life, right? All those people who want to go and live in the hills or
I don't
go
want
and
to
live in
save.
the
I don't want to
beaches.
save any poor people anymore. I just don't care anymore. I've lost all empathy now. I'm like, only save your own. So if there's no Wi-Fi and our show doesn't go on, that's all I care about. Really.
No, but I think it's interesting, right? I mean, like it does lay out the contrast in some sense
Yeah.
between urban living and rural living in India, right? No matter how, like Alibag is basically it's somewhat rural, but it's essentially like a rich people suburb from Bombay, right? I mean,
Yeah, but
that's what it is.
we're also in the outbacks. So you're not exactly in the township area. So you're deep. You're inside we're in the mountain area.
Yeah,
actually.
but still, you're still in the spot. You're still in the area, right? I mean, like you're still in that Alibag area, which is like the kind of, it's it's the place. It's like the equivalent of the Hamptons for what the Hamptons is to New York.
I wouldn't
Alibag
go
is to
that
Bombay.
far. You won't get a frog in your toilet bowl in the Hamptons.
Oh, sure you will. You get snakes
Really?
in the Hamptons and stuff like that. Yeah, dude.
Oh, you mean somebody's ex-wife? That's just like a
No, like a snake, man. I was there for a weekend at somebody's country house, and there was a snake in the barn.
in the barn, which is
Yeah, but I mean, like not in the house, but in
snakes.
but a house barn. It's like there, right? I
I'm
mean,
saying
like
in your toilet they've taken over.
But-
It's like that movie V or the Planet Ape. They're all over. I was
Yeah.
scared.
So when this happened to me, this happened in Goa.
Are we going to
my
froggy
family used to stay in
stories?
Goa.
Yes.
Yeah. So my family used to stay in Goa, and we had a government bungalow because my dad had a government job at the time.
What did
And
your
on
dad
the
do in
ground floor of the
government?
bungalow, He took VRS, voluntary retirement, as Commissioner of Customs and Excise about
He was
10
Commissioner of
years back.
Customs. I could get all
As
my
Central
supplements
Excise,
passed and all that easily, bro. Illegal stuff and all that, bro. Come on.
yeah, if only. Yeah.
How sad.
So anyway, we had this
Huh.
bungalow, and on the ground floor, there would often be frogs in the toilet, especially in the monsoons, but otherwise also. And I remember once I was about to sit. I'm about to sit. Okay, something jumps on my thigh and then jumps out of the toilet, and I realized the frog, which was in
Holy
the toilet,
fuck.
jumped on me and then just escaped from the bathroom.
So
from under
I
the door of
gotta.
the
So what
bathroom.
was your first reaction? I need to clean my thigh
I freaked
because the
out. No,
the
I.
frog is coming in from the pot onto you,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, like my first reaction would be
Correct.
like, where has this frog been?
See, it's actually a comedy of errors
Hmm.
because
That's very
you're
true.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. And they've been in everything,
I
Philly.
don't
You're
remember what my
absolutely
Yeah.
reaction was. I hope.
They've
Yeah.
gone through the
I hope
sewers
my
of
first reaction
society.
was. Yeah.
Oof, ouch. But the fact is, both of us think the other one's a predator, no? That's probably what's happening.
That
He's
is-
thinking, big bottom here is
Yeah.
going to kill me, suffocate me to death. And so he's springing out for safety, and Silvery runs thinking, oh God, this frog. But I mean, it's not fair. Until you face a frog in battle and don't flinch and show your manhood, don't look at us and, don't look at us
The
badly and
game
judge us. Don't
Frogger
judge us.
doesn't count.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
Amit, you
gives
got to
a
go to
20%
Alibag next weekend.
advantage. But these are test conditions. These are real test conditions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think just face it, because early morning, and you're completely off guard. This is your morning moment. When you're sort of, half asleep and, you're probably at the most relaxed if you really think about it. Nothing's really started in that.
You just you're still like
Yeah.
waking up. You're in the process of waking up. Yeah.
Oh, and did we wake up? Oof.
Did you
48
shout?
hours since I passed one.
Did you
Oh, sorry.
did you shout out loud enough for people to wake up?
Bro, I went for the stick. I was
No,
like,
but did you wake other people up? That's my question.
No, I was alone in the down one and a
Ah.
room, and she's upstairs, Maya.
Uh-huh.
Now she's 14 and all that, so she has her own room, and rightly so. And me and the two dogs were out. But
Uh-huh.
my two dogs, they don't do anything. They're not fighting dogs.
Uh-huh.
They were fast asleep on the bed, which if Aisha sees the show, I'm screwed because I don't want them on the bed. And they didn't move. I didn't scream. I never went to that hysteria thing. I froze with fear.
No, not hysteria, but like
It was
scream
like-
is shock, right? I mean, like
You see, when I was 17, one girl once asked me if I want to have sex. I had the same reaction. I was so unprepared. I just froze, and she just walked off saying, "What a loser," or whatever. And,
Oh.
yeah, and then she won Miss India and became an international. No, that's.
That's not good. Yeah.
But
That's
I don't.
not the
Silvery, you
movie.
tell me. So you basically freeze, and then your self-preservation
Yeah.
comes in. I found a stick, and then I was playing this game with the pot, and I was like fencing. So if you saw me and no frog, you'd say, "Hey, this guy's in a fight." I got the stick, my hand braced. I was like a musketeer doing all that. And then if you see the full frame and you see it's a small frog inside a pot, you'll be like, "This is not exactly the kind of Amitabh Bachchan movie I want to watch." Where the angry young man beats a frog to death, who's in only crime is he
Yeah.
came out from his pot. But I was really scared. And by the way, Amit Doshi, you cannot take your eyes off the frog. Okay,
I know.
Silvery, am I right? You're not taking
Yeah,
your eyes. You're not looking at anything else. I grabbed that stick, which I
Yeah.
keep for an intruder. By the way, I grabbed the stick and I was just looking there, opening the pot, shutting the pot, and he kept disappearing, playing hide and seek, and screwing my mind. He was playing mind games like the Australians of the 70s and 80s, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And that's why I asked him, Ali. I said he went in somewhere. So he said, "Boss, they go back in. They come back from the duct. They go into the pipe, and they don't come in from the top. They haven't entered like a
They come
human
in from the
being.
pipes. Yeah, from pipes.
They come in from the pipes. These guys are unbeatable. You don't have a
Uh,
chance in hell."
aren't people? Aren't warriors who like are amphibious called frogmen?
Yes, they are.
I think they
But
are.
more amphibious. Actually, they go into the water and then reach some
Yeah,
whatever place. and
Yeah,
all that.
yeah.
Frogmen with the thing. Yeah, that's right. Are you passing scorn and sarcasm our
No,
way?
it's not
Like,
at
oh,
all.
you lift weights and you walk around a big chest and all that. Froggy says, "Do you want to cross my golden river?" And I'm like, "Ah!"
No, I get it, right? I mean, like animals where you're not expecting animals are kind of disconcerting,
No,
right? And
See, this is like racism.
Oh.
See, the fear you'd feel from a predator like a shark or a tiger or whatever will be different. This fear, your manhood is also questioned. It's different. See, there's no question there. Which idiot will not be scared when a 500-pound Royal Bengal tiger's 30 feet away roaring at you? Fair enough. But this is a small frog. So you don't want to share. Only I would share this information and destroy my own, self-respect. But in your own head, you're fighting that self-respect thing. Like, why are you scared? You stand you're 90 kilos. He's 20 grams. But man, they're tough. They're scary. And it's like racism. It's a look. The look creeps you
It
out,
is.
and the
It-
middle class upbringing where frogs were yucky to people or whatever.
no, and they're weird
Animal
looking
racism.
animals, right? I mean, if you
Yeah,
think about it, frogs are weird looking animals.
but I wouldn't have him killed. So I've done my
No,
bit.
not killed.
Because
I
they
mean,
said,
like,
"Chal bhai,
why
wo
should you?
usko marega." I said, "Please don't kill him. I just won't use the pot." We have to figure. Now I'm going to research what can I put in there which he'll find foul and vile and not want to come out.
There
My
are
wife suggested, you know what? I should have just,
no, so I'm pretty sure you get you get, so like basically there's a U bend in the toilet, right? So
yeah,
there are things that you can get which come out at one point which can kind of prevent
stall
wildlife
it.
from coming up.
But isn't it
No,
like with sharks? You put a spray on which repel, get
no,
repulsed by
it's
nasal.
it's like a I'm sure there must be something like that, right? But this is
So
like a
some good
plastic.
smell because bad smells they like. So I'm
No,
thinking,
this is like a plastic thing which basically like it allows flow to go this way but not up this way, something like that. There is a
so it
way.
redirects the flow. You're saying?
No, no, it's like a hinge is not the right word, but
A U-turn.
it's like this circle thing with this like these plastic flaps, and so then it can things can go like this but cannot come like this.
Oh my God, this is too intricate for my small mind.
I Yeah, I guess.
I'll just build a second pot. One for
No.
Frog, one for me. I give him his newspaper. He's on his paper. I'm on my paper. Boom.
No,
Did you go back to the pot, Silvery? Silvery's frozen.
it looks like he is frozen.
Oh,
Oh
how
wow.
sad. That's the fear from Goa. The fear from
Okay.
Goa, he's carried on.
I I
In
think
acting school, we learn the sense memories where, the sense memory is so live that you feel that again. Like a
and that's
death of a
why he's
relative or
frozen.
a pet. Yeah. So he's seen that and he's refrozen in time at this spot, recalling that event. A sense
He's re-
memory recall.
He's remembering the frog from way back.
It can't be technology because you're in bloody Bombay. You have no excuse. Big city, biggest city, Shanghai of India. Okay, he seems to have completely disappeared. He's back. He's back.
Okay, he
Silvery,
is back.
Silvery.
Yeah, hi.
No,
Sorry,
Just
sorry.
quickly, I know we were frozen to fear, fair enough. But did you go back? So this is a big question. Did you go back to the pot the next?
Never use that pot again.
There you
That
go.
happened to me twice, by the way. Once
There you go.
the frog was just there. The second time he jumped on my leg and just went off. So after the second time, I was like, dude, this is done.
Did your
This
bro?
is
Did your
two,
bro?
two times too
Did
many.
it happen to your bro also?
No, but I told everyone about the family and about it in the family. And as far as possible, everyone used to avoid that washroom since then. So there was like a one washroom in the house for a good 2
Commissioner
years.
of
which
Customs
was
with all
almost
that
unused.
pull
Yeah.
backed off from the little main
So,
duck.
the thing I was talking about is called a Nani trap by recent. This is in the comments by recent guest Mayur Tekchandani. He says
Mayur
it's
the
called a
photographer.
the design guy, right? He
Yeah,
does
of
the
course.
industrial, so he would know what I'm talking. He says it's called a Nani trap.
Nani trap, as in our Hindi Nani. Or some
He's written
Western.
NANITRAP, and above
Yeah.
him Namrata Patro says it's like to explain it's like heart ventricles. That's how heart ventricles work.
Okay, coming back. So
I'm-
the frog is unable to enter the sea of hope.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, you have something like this, right? And there are flaps which kind of go this way. So you can send, so things can go this way, right? So like the waste material
Correct.
from the toilet
Yeah.
can go down.
Yes.
But when you try and go up, right, at that point in time, those things kind of block up, and so you can't travel up that. You can only
So
travel
he's-
one way.
So once he goes in, he's in.
Well, he cannot go up now. He can basically if he is in your
He
if he
stays
is
there. Yeah.
if he's entered your pipes, he can't enter the toilet from the pipes.
Oh, I see. We have got to investigate this. I have to go back and face him one day. It'll be like crossing the threshold. He's becoming a man. I'll have to do it because now I have no face to show. Beaten by a frog. Oof. And you named the cyclone after a lizard. What about the poor frog? A man who bested the Thakkars and the Brochas. This one, probably the same frog. must have found a pipe from Goa. It's not that far away, when you go
Wow.
by road.
Yeah.
It's like,
Amit,
let's
be
get the next
careful.
family. Yeah. They want to be on the podcast.
Yes.
But you question your life as the moment passes. What's happened to your life? There's no electricity. There's no Wi-Fi. There's no fun. The basic things are a problem. The dogs are scared of the cyclone and the thunder and this and that. Everything's going crazy. And there's
Yeah.
a frog.
This is a really
Walking a
interesting
mouth
question, Cyrus. This is a really interesting question. Considering that up until maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, you were completely like internet did not exist for you. Correct?
Correct?
How difficult was it for you to function without Wi-Fi now?
Because this stupid lockdown 1 onwards, this is it, right? I mean, we're doing a daily podcast. It's a fun podcast, and we've given a commitment, and I'm like Salman Khan.
No, no,
Once I've
I'm
given
not.
the commitment, even I don't listen to me
No, no,
or
I'm
him
not talking
or him
about
to
the.
me or each other.
I'm not referring to the work thing. I'm talking about like reading news, watching YouTube, doing this, doing that. Like
No,
those kinds of
but
things.
that
How
corruption is not from the podcast. That's from the pleasure angle, bro. First with
ah,
erotica, for which I've been a student all my life, and then all the podcasts that one would listen to, the others, and
right.
from all the different subjects you like, from bodybuilding to music to history to animals. I love. I'm such an idiot. I love watching animal fights.
Hmm.
As long as no one dies, then I have to
Yeah.
stop it and stop there. So these things from my childhood which have come alive again thanks to YouTube and all. But now, and keep in mind, this is Alibag, me and Maya and 5 dogs and 2 staff who I am a libertarian, an egalitarian, but I don't want to spend the whole day chatting with them.
Right.
So without that, what is there? I didn't carry any books. There are a few there, and I'm not going to read them. Reading is almost dead now for us. Now, who's going to do
Right.
it? If
No,
one is
no,
being
reading is
honest.
not at all dead, dude. I read a lot still.
But once you start using that phone, right now I'm watching Son of Sam, the documentary thing on the whole murder and the whole cult thing in the background. I don't know if you guys have followed that
Uh,
1976 killings in New York. So you just get into it. You can't
I
stop.
you know what I'm gonna do? I'll send you a book which you can maybe download on your phone or something like that. It's a really good book which I think you'll like, right? So I mean, I just picked it up.
Is it
It's
about
by
frogs?
No, it's a nonfiction book by this guy named John McWhorter called Nine Nasty Words. It's an update on George Carlin's Seven
Ooh,
Dirty Words, right? And it
okay.
talks about how these things have changed and what the differences are in terms of
So
this.
any
It's
seven other 7 dirty was carrying over, or some of them have
No, a
fallen
lot of them
off?
are not. A lot of them are not
Fair
anymore.
enough. That's
This
probably a right appraisal
the
over the years.
the words are different now. The words are more identity driven than they are sexuality or hidden activity driven. That's kind of the thesis of the book.
But
Uh,
coming back, thanks, Amit. But coming back to the frog for a second, I'm thinking what I need to do. No, I need to become more friendly with the frog
yes.
because as a so-called animal lover, no, I can't be selective. I feel very bad later. I mean, it's a strange-looking animal, but it's like you have an ugly kid. You can't not love the kid. It's
Yep.
ugly, but he's still your kid. So I need to find a way, a path, a common path. Silvery, you have no such thought, right? You don't want to welcome back the
Uh,
frog into your family.
Not at all. I don't want the frog. Man, I literally sometimes just randomly I'll enter the washroom and I'll check just in case there's a frog. Even today. This is like after happened like 10, 12 years back,
So
at
now
least.
2 days have passed, and it's going to take some time before you stop doing that. Like normal people
Yeah.
just sit down and get on with their day. It's going to take some time because the inspection and all. Oh God, yeah, it's staying for some time. A frog can have a real hold on you, man. Oof, ouch.
Yeah, 23 minutes.
23 minutes on a frog.
Okay, let's let's go somewhere else.
Okay, I think Antrix, sorry, I know you have a bunch of things prepared, right? But I have a question I want to
Mhm.
ask.
Yeah.
Sure.
Tell me the funniest Kunal story as a
Oh
birthday
shit,
thing
we were
for
going to
him.
talk about his birthday.
It is his birthday, so
Okay,
I'd
I'll
like
tell
to
you.
know.
I'll tell
So
you.
basically, see, the reason I'm asking for the funniest story is this piece we're going to clip and we're going to put on social media. So, what is the
Yeah,
funniest story of his you can think of?
yeah. They don't always make him sound like a nice person, but I have to say it. Then there's no way out. So when they were digging up the road in Cuff Parade in our area,
Hmm.
for some time the pavement wasn't there because they were cleaning up the pavement and part of the road, just where what is that place where those terrorists docked in and all that,
Yeah,
that whole
the
stretch,
fish
the
base, no?
fish thing.
Yeah.
Look at us, like experts from South Mumbai. The fish thing, the road, where the terrorists,
What
yeah,
is it called? I can't remember what it's
God, yeah.
called.
How can we forget? It's there in my head somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody in the comments will just feed it to us quickly, and there's a South Bombay person there. So yeah, so it's right there. They were, many years back, so they were digging it, and so there was no road basically. So all the pavement dwellers, and there are plenty there. If you live in that area, you'll know, from the Machi community as well. They came onto the whatever road was left. Right. So now
Oh.
driving the car became a little difficult, especially in the night, in the dark. They started sleeping there. The things were there, everything. So he was negotiating. We're coming out from a rehearsal in Colaba. He was negotiating the car. Got a little irritated because his fat body had to move maybe an inch more, like that, with the wheel. And he looks at those people, 7, 8 people, and says, "Tell me one thing." And I wanted to tell you this story, and anyone listening, Kunal Vijayakar is not a humorist. He doesn't like being funny. He's not naturally funny. He's not a naughty guy. He's not one of the lads. He's actually not gregarious, and he's not extroverted. Okay, so please understand who this person is. He's not like a bunch of comedians that Silvery hangs with who want to prove they're funny. Like us, we want people, we get validation that way. It's not him. So he actually looked at me, he looked at those people, he did a shrug because he had to move, and then he said, "Tell me one thing. If I was to run over these 7 people, won't I make their lives better?" Stunned silence.
Yeah. What else can that
I
be?
told you, don't show him in good light.
Yeah, Amit will ask for the best story, Cyrus.
But this is the story.
Yeah.
Because after some time, I laughed so much. I was like, "Are you nuts? You know what you just said? You literally said, if I kill them because they're poor and they have no place to sleep, I'll make their lives better. That's what you said. I mean, it's just horrible."
Yeah. Okay. Let's not put this story on social media. We
Yeah,
like
on social
Kunal.
media.
We like Kunal.
Okay. The second one was the beggars. Baman and him come out of Regal. What's that? Links, a lovely Chinese restaurant
Ah.
behind Regal. And at the old days, you park the car wherever you got and all that took time. So I think it was a Muslim beggar with the cap who comes up to him and asks for food. And Baman is saying, give it to him. Well, because they're taking their doggy bag home. Baman is saying, give it to him. What's the big deal? No. Why? Isme pork hai. Pork haram hai. So Baman said, just forget it. It's haram. Now, what does he know? It's all Chinese food. Just give the food. Let him eat it now. Leave it. No. Like I won't give a Hindu beef. I won't give a pork, a Muslim pork. Then Baman said,
Okay.
okay, but why exactly is it such a deep thing? No, it's their thing. If they give up their religions, I'll give them whatever they want to eat. But I can't feed them as long as he's a Muslim. I can't give him pork. As long as he's a Hindu, I can't give him bear. I said, so you're going to get an Aadhaar card from the beggar before Kunal Ji feeds them. It comes down to that. The man is bizarre. And again, there's no humor intended. This is his logic. You know, so I wish Baman tells his story much better than me. So one day we'll get him to say, Baman was like, how do you talk to a person like this? You know, I mean, what kind of thinking is this? It's just a doggy bag. Give it to the guy. He's starving. Who cares what religion or whatever? He's the beggar. It's not like he's doing well in life. And just end it. Why get into the technicality of, oh, his dharm says that he must not eat this, so I cannot be part of that, so I cannot. Then literally he was arguing with Baman, should I take out the pork and give it to him with his fingers? By which time Irani lost his temper and said, I'm going. You join the beggar. I'm not interested in this anymore. This is ridiculous. I'll give you a third really bad story, no names. We were stuck at, I think it was Tanas Karim's wedding. And you know how these people are these brunch weddings at 11 in the morning, 11:30, whatever, 12, these odd timings on a Sunday. But the problem with that is everybody comes in stands. There's just not enough chairs. So you come a little late, there are like 12 chairs and they're like, in this big room, everybody's just standing like, which is on a Friday night, I get it, Friday night, you have a drink and you sort of, that's the culture. But I thought Sunday, we were all hungover and wanted
exactly,
chairs. Yeah, just want to eat and, pay your respects. There was one man, very, very nice guy, a paraplegic man in a wheelchair. So Kunal goes up to him without knowing and says, boss, I envy you. You're the only one who has a seat here.
Wow.
Aisha,
That's funny.
Aisha is very brave, the bravest out of us. She just couldn't be in the same frame. She just, just walked a little away. 10 minutes later, two of them, the paraplegic man and him, were chatting 19 to a dozen. That guy loved Kunal because he's never met anyone like him. Without realizing it could be malicious, mean, and insensitive and showing a lack of empathy, he went and just said something from his side, which was honest, which is he actually felt bad that he didn't have a wheelchair. You understand the madman's thinking, whether it's Muslim or Hindu, or beggar and this and that. Just this and there's no trace of humor. This is just a sick human being. We are celebrating his birthday. I don't know why.
Because he's a friend.
But coming on to the paraplegic guy, so we asked him later. I asked him later. He said, "You weren't offended by whatever he said." He said, "I was most relieved. Everybody comes around me and tries to give me things, and they do this whole fake let me help you, and they look at you with pity."
Right.
Which he doesn't. There's no need. He's a perfectly functioning man, except with the leg problem. Everything else is absolutely right. His mind and everything else. So he's just like, great. When someone comes and talks to me like this, I mean, it's so refreshing because all I get is, can I get you something? Are you okay here? Shall I move you near the AC? Shall I call someone? So imagine, just go into his head. So he was really happy to find this moron in Saturday mutt, whose only thing is his Kunal's story. Ask Baman. Baman is the best on Baman, and Baman's son Kayozi was on a show. Kunal's story should be my comfort level. That's all he cares about. That's all he cares about. If the driver drops him 4 feet away from the lobby, idhar kyun? But sir, idhar hi hai na gate. But udhar hai na gate. That's the argument for 4 or 5 feet for about 10 minutes. So the level of comfort is everything for this horrible human being. And what can we say?
Happy birthday to Kunal.
Happy birthday. And I can't even criticize him like I can here because he's like the knights or the females in my house. You say anything anti-Kunal, it's like some sort of crazy jihad moment. It's like, kill Cyrus. How dare you? My mother is so protective of him. It's ridiculous. And again, Kunal is not a banter guy. He doesn't like teasing or taking, you can't pull his leg and playfully do anything with him because he's just too serious and grumpy. Oh, why? What? Why? Oh, God. You're the only one who has a chair here. How much I envy you. नहीं मैं नहीं दूंगा मैं नहीं दूंगा मैं नहीं क्यों दूं how can I give a Muslim pork, how can I give a Hindu beef, how can I, they should give up religion, then I'll give it. What the hell, the man is starving, you cannot think like that. So he's a Seinfeldian character for me in many ways.
He is.
But he's not a good person to work with. Terrible, really bad.
Yeah, I know. 25 years of disasters, no?
Yeah.
Disasters.
Sure.
Really.
Yeah.
He's very
Seriously.
short-tempered on the set, boss. It's irritating after some time.
Yeah.
One quick question though: why couldn't you just ask the beggar, like, "Hey, will you have pork or will you have beef?" You just
But
ask him, be done with it,
Baman
no?
made a very good point. He said the haram is me. When you don't know, your belief is your belief system. If you
Yeah,
don't
that's true.
know, and let me tell you,
Yeah.
I, as a meat eater, Amit as a meat eater, if the Chinese food is very sophisticated in its flavoring, you won't know the bloody meat sometimes. It's very possible.
That's true.
Okay. So
True.
Baman said, it's a haram. We'll take that blow. That's our, penalty to take. Whatever. Because why should he not eat? Just let it be. He doesn't have to know. So he's not committed a crime. Even if it was let's say it was beef for this thing, Hindu beggar, you just let them eat it. Don't get into that. So that's one way of thinking. But Kunal was very righteous about this. So farmer agitation like kuch nahi karega, but for this he was I'll stand up. Wherever there are beggars from any community, if they are being fed wrong food, I will come there and strike. And wherever there are people in wheelchairs and they don't keep a second wheelchair for friends like me who actually look forward to wheelchair. Oh, by the way, in the old days, catching business, wanting to be upgraded to business class, he's the famous neck injury one. Carry this big. Have you done that, Amit?
No, I've not done that.
Well, he
I've
would
only
put-
once in life been upgraded to business class.
No, but that's why, whatever. I'm saying when you go there and you put on a thing with a neck brace and you say Air France, but the poor French people, they don't have too many swindlers anymore. They have a few, but, Indian man, overweight, looking sick, can't move his head. Next thing they upgrade him.
Nice.
Done all that.
Wow.
That Jugaad he has been guilty
That
of.
is impressive in its own way. Getting an
Level of
upgrade is
comfort.
hard. Getting an upgrade is hard.
We will get Baman on this show. Just give me some time. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And Baman will do 10 minutes of stand-up because he does very good impression of Kunal, which I can't, I'm nowhere close to doing. And he will
Oh, wow.
kill you. And his accuracy in terms of memory details, which my memory fades because of the frog, is fantastic. You'll be in splits. Also, Kunal, so it's funnier because once you really know him, you realize he's impatient, intolerant, uncivil, not very courteous, insensitive, doesn't see the periphery. So all these things, and it's always level of comfort. Either gaadi kyun roka? But sir, gate udhar hi hai. I mean, literally the car should turn and it's 4-5 feet, but he's just like, wow, now I have to walk. And in the meantime, the background cyclone, Taukate, whatever the hell name it is, COVID surge going on, people dying, no beds, oxygen problem, this, that, GDP plunging, comics being harassed, committing suicide. And his whole thing is, idhar kyun ruka gaadi? Huh? You see, Silvery? He's a very bad man and we are wishing him happy birthday today. I feel aghast. But it's also 6:33. We have done no story, right? So we are breaking records. Evening is a bad idea, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're too warmed up.
Let's
Are we doing cred or are we doing...
yeah, let's take the break and
Yes,
let's do our
yeah.
cred
Let's take a break.
promo.
Yeah. I sent it to you. Yeah.
Okay, so this is on ALAs, which you all don't believe in. Okay, cred. I've got a one which we should do. Ready?
Yes.
Are you ready for your cred
Yes,
moment?
we are.
Can you realize how my light is fading? And that's not a sort of analogy or metaphor or anything. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is early morning frog.
There's still like half an hour of sunlight left.
Amit,
What?
Oh,
the
yeah.
sun is shining in your life.
Literally, we live like
How sweet, my daughter. She overheard me and put some light on in the background.
Yeah.
Makes me look
Oh.
like one of those Ramsey Brother productions. Okay. I'm not someone who believes in credit. Actually, I do. I love credit. Yeah. I used to love going to the Bombay gym only because dad used to pay the bill when I was 18, 19. So I would just sign and don't think about it. Of course, I
that's
don't know
not
about...
credit. That's mooching. Credit implies paying
he's
it back.
Your father's a credit card in a sense. not for
Yeah,
a little while.
exactly. Yeah.
And the thing is, my dad's ridiculous. He's so middle class in his thinking. He would ask me things like 7 vodkas, but why 2 cokes? What? I'm like, see,
Wow.
and he would fight over that. He would, why can't you have soda? I said, man, it tastes like rubbish. But he never said no to the alcohol. So that morality was lost on him completely. His whole thing is it's a waste of money to buy cold drinks. You want to die drinking, you die drinking, but do not drink cold drinks. They make no sense. I'm serious. I used to tell us before we entered restaurants when I was young, no cold drinks. It was like his law. I don't know what he had against cold drinks. See what I've suffered. Frog, no cold drinks. Kunal Vijayakar. I'm not someone who believes in credit, but these days I find myself using my credit card more and more because if I pay my credit card bills on music, cred, I get amazing rewards and cashbacks. And honestly, this is the kind of validation I was waiting for in my life. Just download cred, you get a frog free. Wow. Yeah. One day we should talk about growing up. Everyone has only growing up stories.
Okay.
Think about it because sometimes it won't come, on the spot like that.
Yeah, no,
Think about
exactly.
it,
Think about that.
your top 5 and just, embarrassing moments involving parents, friends, colleagues,
Oh,
relatives,
wow.
parties.
Yeah. Okay. I can
Because-
think of some. Like
Oh.
some are coming like
There you
to
go.
the forefront, right?
Go on. Don't hold back. Tell us one at least as a warm up for that episode
Puking in the lobby of the Taj.
in front of obviously
Many people.
who know you.
Wow.
Well, yeah. Like it was post 1900s puking, but yeah.
Oh, 1900s. How we used to try to
Yes.
get in. Did we have enough money?
Never.
Did you know what is that bottle's name? Deepak.
Oh
One
God,
of the
Deepak.
Deepak.
Deepak Malhotra.
Yeah, Malhotra. He became an actor,
Malhotra.
huh? Lame
Yeah,
picture.
Lame guy. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
So he was one of the fixtures I remember. So
He
do
was
you know
always
him,
there.
Geta Sen and all that.
Yeah,
So
well, he
once-
was a member, no?
He was a
Basically, he
member.
was one of the complimentary members, I think.
And he was very sweet because we sent, I think Smita, one of our friends, she went and talked to him and he took 5 of us in once.
Wow,
Yeah,
that was the challenge. Now find the member.
find the member. That sounds disgusting.
Oh,
Find your
yeah.
own member, you frog.
Yeah,
By the way,
but
they're hermaphrodites, I think. They're both male and female. We keep coming back to frogs.
frogs, yes, they
They're
are.
in the background.
No,
I-
the
Well, you
hyenas
tell us the
also,
story.
I
Huh?
think.
What?
I think the hyena female has a
Is-
male
no,
appendage
female is the
and a
alpha.
female appendage.
The female
Yeah,
is the
The
alpha.
hyenas are a matriarchy, yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
but
But
their
I think
sexual
the hyena has
glands.
a pseudopenis.
Oh.
The female hyena has a pseudopenis.
I've been with a
Not
few
exactly,
women like
Oh,
that.
okay.
I've been with a
But
few
it
ladies.
does, I know. I
Hey,
don't
come on,
know why I
saying,
know
oh,
this, but I
felt a bit used in that relationship. So what was the reason for the vomit? I mean, obviously alcohol,
Oh,
but what was
alcohol, right? I
what
mean,
was
just
the preamble?
massive amounts of alcohol. So I'm at that time I was a beer drinker. I never used to drink hard liquor.
That's a
But
killer then.
yeah, but then for whatever reason, I think it
2
started.
whiskeys and you're good to go if you're
Yeah,
just drinking beer.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't 2 whiskeys; it was a lot of whiskeys, right? And also, I think this was the. I don't know if I should say this, but I think this was like the first weekend we photoed the bartender.
Ooh.
So we had photoed the bartender at 1900s. We basically a bunch of friends would pay him like.
But
I
this was
think
an
it was-
accepted practice in the
It was.
expensive places.
Yeah, you give
They
him
also make
500,
their money.
give him $500, and he'd just like come and like kind of
$500
drops-
in the 90s. That's a lot of money.
It was a lot of money, but then each like a beer at that point in time was 150. So it was
Remember.
basically the cost of 3 beers, and this guy would come and like he'd come every 20 minutes and make sure your glass was full. Right?
So it's
So-
the equivalent of the free party almost. So then you
Huh.
don't even think anymore.
It's
just keep
not,
drinking.
yeah, exactly at that point. So it was just like more and more and more, and to the point. And I was drinking beer as well because beer I like. Whiskey I was drinking for drinking, right? And yeah, it was just
What bad boys we were, huh, Silvery? Then you druggies came
Wow,
to the
yeah.
scene. Not you personally, but Naveen and Neville Shah and what's the other boy from Bangalore's name? Kanan Gill and
Sure, okay.
Abish.
look at him give you
I'm trying my best to set it up.
Look at him give you the segue point up, right?
So, in theater when you
Yeah,
do
exactly,
plays
great.
and you forget the line, so the other actors' creativity is really tested in how to get you onto that line. So it's like this literally. So amazing. So remember your father's birthday is coming up because the scene unfolds into the birthday. Shouldn't we discuss his present? And so that guy gets his line. Bro, you want to take that or no?
Yes, let's go. So
Great.
comedians like Neville Shah, Abish Mathew, and Kanan Gill, and some other really well-known comedians in India are being called out or being reported or whatever you call it, being tried to make to cancel.
Told.
They're trying to cancel these comedians because of supposed anti-casteist, supposed casteist either jokes or tweets that they've made in the past. For instance, the Abish Mathew thing is going on today. It's trending today. And they are angry at him for a joke about Mayawati that he made in 2012. And angry, by I say angry, they are paragraphs and people are just so free and they have
Mayawati
nothing better to
supporters
do.
should be angry about Yogi Adityanath more than anything else. Not about some comedian in English making a comment here or there.
Yeah. And dude, like some of these jokes are like they're not. They're actually, even like if you just objectively think, they're actually just good
Can I
jokes.
also say
I
one more
remember the
thing in support of Abish Mathew? For example, Mayawati is a 2 or 3 times
Sorry,
chief minister.
one second. Sorry, Mike, up.
Oh, wrong
Yeah.
cheek. Frog.
oh I,
Back. No. But I'm
yeah,
just putting in perspective. Mayawati at one time could have been the Prime Minister of India. I mean, even now, who knows if there's a coalition or whatever. And very powerful, Chief Minister of UP for a couple of terms, no doubt about that. We had our first F1 race. I attended it with the great Rohit Sharma sitting very close to me. I was quite impressed. So what I'm saying is that she's Mayawati, okay, who's always going to be a name in politics, although her equity is down a little bit now in UP. He's a comedian largely in English, making comments off the cuff. Really, I mean, what is the connect here? He's not damaging her career in
yeah,
any way. He can't even reach her.
absolutely.
So I think it's just
And
pointless.
also in context, in 2012, I think Twitter was still very new. We were still adapting to it. So I'm sure Amish didn't even have that many followers. He must have had like a few hundred maybe. And he must have been like, how many people are even, like, how many people are even going to see this? Is this actually offending people? Because we were making a lot of jokes
But
back
Silvery,
then, which aren't
we're
okay
gonna
today.
we're gonna come back
And
to the
but
same
he's also moved on.
we're
His
going to come
comedians
back
also
to the
moved on.
same
Sorry,
problem all the time, which is where do you draw the line?
Mm.
Okay, once you get into this business
there
of
should be
what is
no line
offensive,
in comedy. Yeah,
but I've been saying that. I think only Amit agrees with me.
yeah,
I think you can't stop the Nazi supporter. You cannot stop him. You cannot stop the other side
yeah,
of it. You just allow people to say what they
absolutely.
want, and we have to delete and edit on our own as citizens. You put up a disclaimer wherever they're performing and saying, this is what's going to happen. So, bro, if you're not interested, please don't come. And
Yeah,
on the internet, for God's sake, it's a free for all. It was designed to be a free for all, I think. So let them do what they want to, and you switch it off, or you can make your comment, but that's it. You don't have to try to stop their work and destroy their
yeah,
careers, or you put them in jail. I mean, that's a
exactly.
little too much.
Like I feel that if there is a teachable moment, then there is a way to talk about the teachable moment. Okay, if there is something that you're actually offended by, then you contact this person through DMs,
Similarly,
or you just
what
tag them
right-minded
civically
person
and say something else.
is anti the so-called, I hate to use the word low, I hate that word, let's say the underprivileged caste of India. Okay, which kind of person is
Yeah,
going to say, oh, let's go and make fun of them out of malice and the intent
exactly,
being that they are horrible,
exactly.
that we should. I mean, come on.
Sorry. Your mic is too close now. Sorry,
It's
it's
not.
like,
It's the
yeah.
frog. He's here. He's here. He's haunting me right now.
So please, everybody, please understand it's impossible to make Cyrus wear a mic properly.
I have fat cheeks, as the frog
Now it's
noticed,
good. Now it's
on
Dude,
good.
both
I'm
ends.
sorry. You have fat cheeks. Look at my face.
Yeah, but you don't have ADD and all. You're like, I can't sit still for long.
No, okay.
I've been at religious things like funerals and all that, and I'm so scratchy and uncomfortable. I want to play with myself, and it's no disrespect to the person who's died, but everybody's like, "Will you stop it? Stop moving, stop fidgeting." All my life I get this. It's just unfair. But let's not talk about me all the time. so so
Yeah,
where do we draw the line? Is my point. I mean, I don't know. Ricky Gervais says it. I keep repeating it. You can get offended, but that doesn't make you right.
Yeah.
In India, everybody gets offended all the time, but please don't connect that with
yeah,
right, because the guy gets, there was a
absolutely.
girl who was crying once. I remember we did a show and somebody got offended about something, it wasn't about a joke, it was about something else. She started crying. Now, there was no intent to offend her, but she saw something that made her feel bad or sad or whatever, and so she started crying.
So it's I think it's a kind of destructive in some ways place that we've gotten into society where people who speak are responsible for the feelings of the people who are receiving that speech, right? And I just
Yeah,
feel like that's a road to disaster, right? Because
yeah,
if I'm responsible for the feelings of the people who are consuming, that means that when I say anything, I have to have all the experiences in the world so that I can be appropriately kind of like, sensitive or insensitive or whatever that may be, right? But I don't have all the experiences in the world. I come from a certain place. I come from a certain this. I acknowledge what I come from, but I mean, like, that doesn't mean that I don't have the ability to talk about other things, right? And I think we're
yeah,
getting to the point right now where it's kind of becoming that if you like, again, the book that I just recommended, right, this John McWhorter book called Nine Nasty Words. One of the things that he is most well known for these days, right, is he's talking about the way that people are approaching language and the way that we are just how we're accepting information, right? And what are the ways that we are reacting into, and how identity is becoming central to everything. And it's a destructive thing when identity is central to everything, because that eliminates your ability to talk about things. Because you are not that person, you don't have the right to talk about it.
why can't you talk about it in any case
Yeah.
in a free forum? Why can't people express their opinions? I mean, just your idea of free thought is just being curtailed, and there'll be no free thought left, and there'll be nothing, no progress. You need that.
Yep.
You need to be free in
And
your head, especially when you're young. By the time your my bills and
exactly.
tax will come into it. But
It's like, sorry.
yeah, go on.
One thing though, like another thing, part of this is that I have seen posts where people are saying, "Ke, shame on the people who are in this video, in the audience, who are laughing at these jokes." I'm like, dude, what are you saying? The jokes are meant for that room. You are seeing it as an addition. That's an additional thing that you are seeing it. Comedy is a live medium. If the people in the room are having a great time, that means you should not get offended at all, in my
What we
opinion.
should do?
Also, they are just taking like 20-30 second, maybe like a 1 minute clip from the entire special that they are angry about. They found
Bro,
this one joke that they were looking to get angry at. And
the Neville Shah
I'm
gag that
very,
you played for us. I don't know if you're going to be able to play it. It'll take too much time or whatever. But
yeah,
it's a very intelligent piece of writing. And growing up in the 90s and understanding what the quota system did from both sides, okay, and divided people. See, I'm also pro reservation. I'm not anti reservation. But it's not an easy thing. You can't just reserve from wherever and expect the whole world to be healed like that. Sure, you believe there's a disparity in groups, in dynamics, or whatever. You're trying to figure out a leveling ground. But this process is, when you try to quantify it and do it in terms of measuring it mathematically, it's not as easy as people think. So, yes, what is the
yeah,
fallout of that? Unhappy people. So, somebody got 93% and doesn't get in.
Yeah.
People we know. Then he's angry. His parents are angry. He worked very hard. On the other hand, you got people who are feeling underprivileged and never getting a chance in life. They're born on the wrong side of the street. How do they go ahead? So, it's a balanced opinion and a balanced argument. It's not like just one or the other. But when a comedian is taking a stance and putting it in perspective from one side, it doesn't mean he's against the other side. People have to realize that.
It's an observation. It's not even a stance, right? I mean, like the
It's a
jokes in
turn of, it was a
question
nice turn
are
of phrase that Neville
observations.
Shah used. If you just
Yeah.
listen to the last line, that's it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
why would you kill his creativity? This is the only time I laughed all day. Was this gag that you did after the frog experience? So Neville Shah actually, he put a smile on my face finally,
Yeah,
and that by no means means I'm pro upper caste Hindus and anti well, underprivileged, let's call them, sections of society, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it really is. I mean, like this stuff is really destructive, right? It's just how are you supposed to talk if I have to have all the like
I mean,
nobody has everybody's
I
experiences.
make fun of Parsis, Punjabis, Gujaratis. You mean I don't like them? I make fun of my wife. I don't like her. I make fun of the frog. I don't like animals. Well, what's the connection? We make connections to everything then.
Yeah.
The only thing that we
absolutely.
can say, God's honor, swear and mom, is Amit, you don't like Apple. Okay, that's the only thing.
That's not 100% true, though.
Okay,
Huh?
it's not. There you go. You will hear the other side of.
I've been playing some games.
Ooh. Yeah, but I mean, Silvery, what do you say? I mean, you're the upcoming young comedian. What do you feel already? Because it will be horrible if you feel cynical and worried at this young age. Because that, for me, that's like the worst thing. If your
So
age group is the
obviously,
one
right?
after you.
I feel so. Obviously, they go after comedians who have already, to some extent, made it. Right? They are well known.
Yeah, but you're
So
killing the next
obviously, I
one
feel that.
who's not made it because he's
Yep,
going to feel fear.
exactly. So that is, yeah, part of it. But it makes me feel that these people who are getting offended are basically just chasing clout, or they want the yes men in their own, like people who are around them
It's
who
rarely
already agreeing with
the
them. They see that,
celebrity or the group
yeah,
representative. It could be anybody. Some person who feels that they have to be the crusader, and this is the crusade they want to take
No,
up.
but see
Neville
that
Shah's turn of phrase.
no, and that's the other thing about identity, which is so dangerous, right? Basically, identity, when identity politics or identity-based conversations become the norm, you homogenize different identities. All Dalit people are not the
True.
same. All Gujaratis
exactly,
are not
yeah,
the same.
Exactly. The
All
stereotype is just so homogenized. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. So I mean, like the idea that that just because some people are offended by it, everybody has to be offended by it. Like there's a lot of academic work done around this stuff in the Black and Latino communities in the U.S. Because what happens is that they typically get lumped in by as democratic, like safe democratic kind of votes. But the truth is, and I don't know if you guys know this, but Donald Trump made significant gains in both Black and Latino communities in this last election.
Did he make more gains? As in
Significant, yeah, big gains.
significant means as in the gains went up
The,
from the last one.
his
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
went like significantly higher,
So
Black and
much for
Latino,
racism. Yeah.
after 4 years of racism, which all of us perceive as
So
like this.
exactly.
But still, the fact is that Democrats don't talk to a lot of people. They don't talk to people.
Or he sounded less hypocritical than they did.
Less hypocritical. Also, people don't buy into some of this stuff, right? Like, I mean, again, I'm coming back to this guy because I've been reading this guy so much, right, off late. This John McWhorter guy, right? But again, he talks about this, that when you talk about, he found like one of the big books in the U.S. right now, right, is white fragility. It talks about how white people don't realize when they're racist, and his critique to that book is like, he takes that shit down, right? He's just like, this book is nonsense. It's the most racist book I've ever seen, because it means that all black people are basically we're delicate flowers who get offended at everything, right? And then he starts talking about
Mm.
all these different kinds of ways that that
That's
does
another
not.
inner racism, when you perceive that you'll be insulting the person, so you got every way not to. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? That it goes into layers, thinking, and then
yeah,
that way it's also racism, because you don't believe in the person's non-fragility, the other
yeah,
person.
exactly.
And you
So
say, "Oh, I have to with kid gloves treat the person." That again is a subtle form of racism or
it's
prejudice.
I'm telling you, man, I saw this guy on Bill Maher's show a couple of weeks ago, and since then I found it to be really interesting. I bought a book, I've read 3 papers. Really, really interesting guy, really interesting thinker.
When you don't have a frog in your
Okay.
ass, you can
Wow.
do all these things, Silvery. We, the common man, we suffer.
That's all we
But
do.
there's a last word on the subject. I just think it's not
Yeah.
about Dalit bashing or something stupid like that, because who would do that? Really, who? What kind of mad person are you? We have to understand comedians are there
Right.
just to get a laugh. It's a turn of phrase, it's a small moment. You sketch a character, you put a perspective, you put a reference to context, and you allow yourself to get to that point. And very often you're not trying to make a deeper point. Sometimes you are, sometimes you're not. But people have to also understand that it's also like a sport in many ways. Have a good time and leave. But what am I? Who's going to educate anyone? The whole thing is that if you're not interested in having a good time with a comedian on the internet, why are you listening to them? Why are you involved with that whole world? Just stay out of that world, because you're so prickly and touchy and offended by everything. I don't get why you want to be part of that.
Exactly.
It's
That's
why
the
I
number
don't
one
take up
thing.
Hindustani classical music. I just don't get
Yeah.
it. No, it's now I'm going to get trolled.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't say
No.
exactly.
Sorry.
Some
Yeah,
Last
still
thing
get
is,
fired. I'm
it,
kidding.
it always comes down to that nobody's forcing you to watch this. That's the bottom
yeah.
line. Nobody's
Why
forcing
are
you.
you doing
If the
two and
joke
two is
exists, it
four?
exists for other people.
When
There is,
if,
even if, yeah, please.
no, please. I'll keep interrupting you for no
No, I'm saying
reason.
even if there is one person who enjoyed that joke is then for them. You don't have to enjoy it. You don't have to like it. It's fine. So
Yeah,
it doesn't.
they're just giving it
Yeah.
more thought than they need to in most cases.
Yeah.
And if it's not their fish, why are they eating it? You're right. You're just absolutely right. I
No,
don't know.
also, I just add, right, this is the reason why we must be absolutist about freedom of speech, because this is an
Yeah.
issue which we agree on. We think that you have to be sensitive towards Dalit sentiments. We think that you must this. We agree with this issue. We agree with the people who are making this, but this is why you have to be an absolutist about
So
this.
tomorrow, if, for example, something hits home and there's a comedian who makes jokes about the Parsi community not marrying out and letting themselves implode, I can't walk out in disgust, because then that's wrong. I have to hear him out and whatever. I can disagree with his views, but I can't go berserk. Because
Yeah.
the moment you do that, then civility
Ah,
and decency are thrown out of the window. No, because all of us will have touchy moments. Anyone. I mean, if I go on doing Gujarati bashing, at some point he's going to crack, or your mom, dad. I can't just go on.
Right.
Everybody's got a threshold, a
yeah.
boiling point. That's going to happen. So what we have
Also,
to,
Neville himself is a minority. He is a
yeah,
Parsi.
yeah.
Yeah. So they are basically bashing a minority as well. So where is the line?
Yeah, but
But
there is a difference, right?
privileged.
Privileged
I mean,
minority versus
okay,
there is a
sure.
difference there.
But okay,
But
sure.
still,
Yeah.
I hear your point.
Listen,
Yeah.
India has to pay for the way they've treated members of other castes. There's no question about that. That kind of racism is unparalleled in the world. If we sit down and talk about it, it's
Yeah.
unparalleled in the world. Until today, people are asking you if you're trying to date a girl or whatever, what caste you. I mean, oh God, it's ridiculous. And it's there in the surnames, and that's why in the north, in Bihar, and all their places, we have only 2 first names. They're trying to kill that whole caste message so that they don't get in trouble. So names like Sanket Pratik, which make no sense. Who has 2 first names as a name? Ashok Vijay. I mean, hello, really? That's your name? So yeah, so we have to accept that this is a huge monkey on our back. It's not like it's not there, but a joke is a joke. You can make a joke about the terrible Jewish experience in World War II. I mean, you're throwing light on it. Amit is right. We've just got to keep it open. It's open, and if you don't like it, you walk away. If you start shooting people and going mad and killing people and destroying their careers, what's the point?
Sorry,
Ask him,
my son
you're
is
pulling
mic
your beard
again.
or
It's
saying
just
something.
No,
Yeah,
no,
mic
I'm telling
again.
you to raise your mic a bit.
Again, wrong
Other
side.
side.
Yeah. It's like you can just do this for the whole hour. Cyrus, where's your mic?
Oh, so maybe move it a little bit back. There you go.
I have a small head and big cheeks. You have a big head and big cheeks. You have men with big testicles and small penises. It's like that. It's just embarrassing in the locker
So
room.
you're saying I have big testicles and big penis?
I hope it doesn't come down to that, our relationship. I'm happy to be with my frog. I'll go back there. Should we do a quick AMA? It's
Let's
only
do
7.
AMAs. Yeah, let's do
Yes,
AMAs.
quick. Let's do this. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
AMAs. The first one comes in from Ashwini Deshpande. She says, "Does Cyrus go to Alibag every weekend?"
No, there's no one there. Firstly, we had to go there. This time we went because of Maya's exams, because the building work is going on and she couldn't study properly. So we thought we'll go there. Here's the irony: we'll go there. We have the whole place to ourselves. She studies. I'll do my shows and come back in time for my TV show. Okay, and then Aisha comes in and stays with her, and I come back for 5 days here, and then we switch again. Which the plan was great, except for cyclone. Uncle, tuck, kate.
Yeah.
Tuck, tuck. And next thing you know,
Yeah.
we're really back in 1642. You have no idea who we are, where we are. I mean, we communicate like, from with our hands around our mouths like this. That's how we talk to each other. I mean, it was just very painful. And like I said, the guy wouldn't come on the phone. He wouldn't come on the phone and take any sort of accountability and give me if he just said on Monday morning, bro, this is a disaster. There's no way this week is gone. There's no way anything going to happen. I would have told you all. I would have started planning what to do next. So we would have
We
planned
would
what
have
to do
figured
next.
something out. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we need to know where we
Yeah.
stand. This is the one thing I hate. This is the Indianness bit which I
Yeah.
really hate about our people. We don't like to give bare bad news. We don't want to be
Yeah.
that guy.
So
So
we did that question and Q&A type thing, right? Which went out, I think, today or yesterday. That's something we could have done on Monday if we knew that this was a problem,
if
right?
we are in our mind shut the fact that we cannot
Yeah.
do a live stream or whatever, you would have come up with something. We would have done it. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. But we were still trying. I was still trying, just hoping that somehow or the other it will happen. And I'm called
Yeah.
elitist pig because of my worries are only the Wi-Fi are coming while people are dying and all that by my wife. But she hasn't left though.
So,
So I have wife and Wi-Fi problems. Can you believe it? Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is
so,
not money well spent. Yeah.
so at multiple points in the last 2 days, we tried to do we tried to set up a mic check with Cyrus just in case the internet was like better, phone network is better, right? And Cyrus gets really frustrated, but truly does not understand technology, right? Because he's trying to come
You
up
can
with
do the
his own
hotspot story.
solutions.
Don't tell the hotspot
What
story.
else? Yeah. No, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
My
Cyrus,
daughter
so
hit her.
yeah.
Okay, you finish and I'll tell you the reaction.
Yeah. So Cyrus, we don't have Wi-Fi at home, and the phone network is not working. So Cyrus is like, what other option do we have? I'm like, no, Cyrus, those are the only two options. He's like, can we take two phones, we combine their their network signal, and then use that as hotspot? I'm like, no, Cyrus, that's not how it works.
And Amit, okay, let Amit enjoy his the unpad person he's had.
And he came up with at least two more theories of how we could do this better. I'm like,
Maya
no,
is shouting in
Cyrus,
the
we
background,
cannot.
and I quote, "You idiot!" to our own father. You cannot hotspot one phone to another phone.
Yeah.
and
Oh man.
and she was banging her head like her grandfather does, and I was like, "Oh God, this is painful." But it was a desperation, and I was just trying to think out of the box, with something because technology has gone so far. Surely there must be something,
Yeah, I'm sure there would be. I mean, like maybe, I mean, like, well,
Well, I was going to go to Gauri's house,
yeah, that was a
Gauri
possibility.
Devi Dayal,
Actually. Yeah.
but then we find out that
Yeah.
she's on a 5G phone with no video. It's just audio.
Oh, it's just
So
audio.
while she was getting the
Yeah,
audio clear,
that could
it
not
still
work.
was scratchy with the video.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and now I would, firstly during a cyclone, I go to a strange man and with his short pants enters a lady's house and says, "Can I have your phone to do a show?" How do I start that conversation?
Yeah.
Behind me, 30
Oh, shout
people
out
are
to
dying. 4 villages swept. There'll be no electricity, no crops this year, and COVID is surging. But I want to just do a podcast about a frog in my ass. Come on. Okay, what have we got?
Okay. Okay. Also, shout out to Gauri and her show. This round is on me on the IVM network.
But
Please
I
go
like
check
that.
out.
See, so
Very
Gauri
fun show.
also, I like people who fight till the death
Yeah.
because I think I don't want to say we come from the theater, but we always believe that the show must go on. I must thank Pearl Padamsi for that. The show must go on, whatever happens. You have one leg fever, you turn up. And the
Agreed.
rain, whatever. Once you go, you have to go. And I will always do that. That I will do. I don't know how good the show will be, but I will always go. And here it's just beyond our capacity to do anything because the Wi-Fi is gone, electricity is gone, the cyclone's raging, and then technology is just not been my. Cricket is my thing. I know a lot about cricket. But hotspot, I'm begging Maya. I'm saying we have 5 phones here. My pal Anup also came. I said we have 5 phones. 5 phones, marry them together, and come up with a laptop which works and catches Wi-Fi from some other building. Oh, bro.
Oh man.
Nice.
Okay. Next one. Akshay K says, Cyrus, it was a very good episode with Tanmay and Kaniz. He's talking about the charity live stream that you did
Yeah, I didn't know what it
over the
was.
weekend on Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great
very
fun.
fun. I actually saw it as well. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
the only thing
very,
is,
very
I
fun.
didn't know that she wanted to talk about me. I thought it was a quiz contest or something, and we're all appearing on it, and which it became the second half.
What?
First, she started, caught me off guard saying, "But tell us about Bakra and all that." I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" It's like I've been retired now. I have to do retrospective and think about things, and it's painful. And then I have to see Kunal, who's so unhappy doing these things, and I go, "Why do we even call him there?" So he has to put on his interested face and sit through the whole 45 minutes. Ashish Shakya, who I haven't seen for years, who looks like a refugee. He looks like the cyclone hit him 3 times. I mean, he was this fat guy. He used to come, with a big smile and sit with his laptop and write for us and all that. And then always ask for his money on time. I must respect Ashish about that. He would ask for his check 3 days before the check was due. So before the company, anybody, the postman got the check or whatever, he was there waiting for it. Shaks had that thing about him. Tanmay, by the way, has changed his look completely. I haven't seen him for months, and he's got a bit of a Ornob happening in terms of hairstyle.
Oh really?
Yeah, I
Interesting.
Oh
was.
yeah, you're right. Now that you say it, you're right.
I
I never
told him, I
noticed
said,
it.
you look like a
Yeah.
newscaster. He just looked like a larger version, a happier version. That's it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
not
He-
see the
he
live
changed.
stream. I'll go and see if I can find the video.
And there was one kid called Samay who was trying to give me some lip as we ended the show, saying, "What did he say? Something. Now we know why kids shouldn't take coke after watching Cyrus on the show." And then
Yeah,
before
Samay came on next.
Yeah, and then
I
before
remember
I
the
could
joke. He
reply,
came on.
Maya, who wanted the laptop, shuts the thing. And I'm about to say, Samay, I was saying, you and your mom and me go back a long way, something vicious like that. And then she shut the damn thing. And I'm like, Maya, what's your dad?
Yeah.
Enough. Because by then she was
Oh.
losing it because I was going mad there, and she was taking the brunt of it. And I kept asking her
Cyrus-
questions, these kind of questions. Sorry.
Sorry, Cyrus, you had said on the live stream that you were waiting for an hour before the live stream actually started on the
Yeah,
stream.
so she first told us one time, then became another time, then actually about 16 minutes delay. So of course that day, look at the poignant situation. I didn't think of all this. I was waiting there thinking, haha, our show goes on time. We never wait 16 minutes for anyone. And this, that. I mean, I don't think I quite said that, but in my mind I was thinking all that. And just, God slaps you the next day. I mean, 48 hours later, boom, we can't even start anything. And the thing is, I was fully ready. And then I'm screaming, Maya's exam started, so I didn't have Maya. So then I'm trying to talk to Aisha because it's not connecting. And then we find out there's no network. So I went to the network thing and it just rejected. It says no network. And I pressed everything possible, including Verite or something, a bungalow nearby to rob their network. Nothing. Now listen, we're under pressure, so you can't look at the morality of all this now. It's an optic fiber. It should be free for everyone. And,
Fair enough.
but nothing, zero. It's very painful, bro. Very painful.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So if you want, everyone should go check out that live stream. It was very fun. Cyrus's segment was very great. Also, if I can shout out to another segment, Kanan's segment was especially funny. He had this presentation segment, and oh man, it was very.
so what
very
was the
smart,
show?
very funny.
Because I thought it was just Kaniz's quiz. There was a lot of other things
no,
happening.
it was a mixture. Yeah, a lot of other things. It was a mixture of many other shows, many other games they were doing. It's like I think it was like a 4 hour, 5 hour long almost.
Okay,
live
all right. So
stream.
that's why they went overboard
yeah.
because somebody was singing. Somebody called Jonathan
Yeah,
was
there was
singing.
a lot of people. Yeah, they got.
And he
what's his
kept
name?
singing, and we kept
Ankur,
sending messages saying, "Can you ask him to stop singing?" Although we couldn't hear him sing, so I don't know. Maybe he's a good singer, but he just was going over time, and they were blaming him. Is Jonathan a friend of yours?
No, he's not. I have no idea who that is.
No disrespect, Jonathan. I'm sure you're a good singer, but it's just that it was 2-4, 2-5, 2-7, and Kunal's messaging me, "How long is this song?" I was like, "I have no idea, man." Look at the lack of respect you have for other performers because you only want to do your thing. It's unfair, guys. It's way past 7. Last
Can
one.
we do one more question?
Yeah,
One more
yeah.
very good one is coming. Kashin, we can't end an episode without asking a Kashin question. He says, speaking of Alibag, what is it about small towns and hill stations having so many ghost stories compared to big cities? Any Alibag urban legends that you guys have heard of?
So does the Pagalkhana actually exist in Alibag? Is there really something
I don't
like
think
that?
it's there anymore. There was something
There
like
was
that.
something there?
I think it's gone now.
Okay.
I think it's only in Pune, as far as I
Okay.
know now. Insane
The
asylum.
inside,
whatever they
yeah,
call it,
I remember there was that
Pagalkhana.
whole Alibag se aaya kya?
Yeah,
When we
that
were
was a
kids.
running gag in
Yeah.
Hindi films.
Yeah.
Yep,
God,
yep.
and now it's not so far from the truth as you can see from my situation. But again, this urban legend about when you're in the openness of the area in the night and there's no lights and all, bro, there's a little chill, okay, internally that you feel as you cross, and every little thing you're spooked. There's no one who won't be spooked. I cannot believe that. You got your phone torch. That's your weapon against God knows what, including dacoits, and your mind starts filling up with things. And so it's look, a flat is a flat. The ones are always awake. The lights are always on. I mean, there are people everywhere. But it's a bit scary. We had a story about a ghost in a nearby colony next to us, like a path. There's supposed to be a woman who got murdered many years ago, and her ghost walks there.
And
I never go that far.
what was that Hindi movie with Manoj Kumar and the white woman in the woman in white in the sari? That was also the drive back from Alibag to Bombay, wasn't it?
No, but there's Alibag reference that means you're a mad person coming and all that. That's been in Hindi films for many years. I don't know where it started.
This was that super classic Hindi movie.
And she's crazy, is it?
She's a ghost who appears kind of insane, I think.
Kanti.
Yeah. Wo Kanti, yes.
Wo Kanti is the movie.
Wo Kanti, that's
You
right.
seen it or you Googled?
Google. Of course. I
You
haven't seen
Googled?
it.
Okay, all right. Wow.
Yeah.
What did you Google? I mean, like seriously, what did I give
Oh,
you
I
that
said,
gave you something to Google?
Manoj Kumar, white woman, ghost, sorry.
Ah, okay, all right. Wow.
But I'll tell you, that line I used to hear a lot when I was drunk. Because, moment a hot girl pass, I would say, "Wo kaun thi?"
Wo Kanti.
Yeah. So different, just to give it a different spin. Yeah. I've had enough of these chills of that frog and the fear and the podcast not going and thunder, lightning, and people saying you should stay inside the room and all rubbish like that. I mean, it was bad, but what's the point? Anyway. Please don't listen to me for advice, by the way, whether it's corona or cyclones. Okay, I just say what I have to say. Yeah.
And I just wanted to add a little thing because a bunch of people asked NBA stuff, and I just wanted to kind of let them know today's both games suck. Tomorrow both games will be great, and I love the play-in tournament. It's awesome.
The what tournament?
Play-in tournament. So what they've done is instead of 8 teams being selected for playoffs, 6 teams are selected for playoffs, and last 4 teams, so from 7 to 10. 7 and 8 play each other, 9 and 10 play each other. Winner of 7 and 8 becomes the 7th seed. The loser of 7 and 8 plays the winner of 9 and 10, and that team plays together, and that becomes the 8th seed. Okay. So it's been a ton of fun.
So 8 get the playoff and 2 get to off.
So tomorrow morning is I think it's and it might be in time for you to wake up if you're at home. At I think 7:30, it starts. It's Lakers and Golden State Warriors single elimination game. Loser goes home.
7:30, I'll be on my way to a damn studio to shoot my crappy show.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah. I'm up at 4:54 tomorrow.
Okay. So
should I give you a shout out?
Well, you can shout at us, but as long as you don't call, that's fine.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, look into the pot before you sit alight.
Yes, absolutely. Wait, before we end, sorry, just a reminder to everyone, please like the stream and please listen to, if you miss our live stream, please, you can listen to us on the IVM podcast app or any other podcasting app as well. Also, I know a lot of you send a lot of great suggestions and questions and topic suggestions. We can't always get to a lot of them, so really sorry for that. But thank you so much for tuning in.
Hey, but we
read all of them. We have read all of them.
Can I add one thing to that also?
But why can't we just read them out aloud and kill time?
Well, we can do that, but just as to kind of seriously this as well, right? If you've asked questions which don't get answered for whatever in the live stream, you could send us an email. whatcyrussays@gmail.com. We have that email ID.
Yes,
and if you send us stuff over there, it allows us to, if we get enough questions over there, maybe we can do an AMA episode or something like that.
And from next week, we're starting a new segment called What Makes Naveen Mad.
Okay.
We didn't have time. We just didn't have time. We'll come back. Lots more from the comedy world. Silvery, you'll be the gossip queen of the comedy world, telling us all, spilling out all the beans. Yeah. Okay. From Uncle Cyrus. And by the way, the light in Silvery's room is also for some reason less.
It's starting to feel the sun has gone down now. 30 minutes are done. I told you at 6:30 we're like 30 minutes away from sunset, and now sun has set.
Fair enough.
All right.
Someone told, what's his name? Michael Jackson. Don't let the sun go down. Okay, forget it.
That's different.
Elton John.
Elton John.
But I just preferred because of the.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay. You're going in I've heard the same thing from Elton John's perspective as well.
He's not known.
But I mean, it was while it might not have been son as SON son, it could be son, or it might not have been a child, but it could still be a son.
Minor. You're talking about word.
Yeah, it could still be a son.
We began with the frog in the ass, and now we're discussing pedophiles in music, and this is why this podcast is special.
Yes,
and in between, we had a cyclone which destroyed India. All right. Okay, guys. See you. Time to part.